I have 3 fabulous books I'm gonna tell you about today. Actually 4 because I when it came down to it, I couldn't leave the 3rd one without talking about the one that I read immediately after that. So 4 books if you stay to the very end. These books are for that person, either yourself or someone else, who's really trying to be the best version of themselves, who's committed or curious about personal development and wellness and self-improvement. Let's jump in. You are going to love these. Book number 1, titled Who Will Cry When You Die by Robin Sharma. This is a powerful little book. It is only like look how little it is. It's in small little chapters, 101 chapters, but each chapter is about 1 to 2 pages, and it's about life lessons. And there's no better way to learn a life lesson than to read about it and reflect on it and learn it without having to learn it the hard way yourself. I would describe this book as a classic, timeless treasure. It is jam packed full of wisdom and simple little ideas. And one of the reasons I love this book so much, it was the first one I read that kind of set me on my wellness journey about trying to improve myself. This is when I was working again, almost 25 years ago, when I was working in a leadership role. And this is what started it all for me. And I love this book. I know you're probably thinking, I'm not reading a book that's 25 years old. This was published in originally published in 1999. And I just before doing this video, because I was torn whether or not to recommend it because it's been around for a little while, but hands down, one of the best things that I have ever done is pick up this book and read it. And I still pull it out on a regular basis. So who is this book for? I would say it's for anyone who is curious about quite simply leading their best life, trying to get to the best version of yourself, regardless of age and stage of life. However, the only caveat I'd add to that is I think probably it's for 20, at least 25 and older, only because I think you need a certain level of maturity to kind of resonate and really get the lessons in the book. Maybe not. It could be for younger, but I would say anywhere from 25 to 125. This book is fabulous. As it says somewhere in the book in the introduction, maybe that this book is about how to live your life by choice, not by chance. How to live it by design rather than by default. Why I love it? One is because it's so short and easy to read. It's a good bathroom book to leave in the bathroom for people to pick up. Again, only each chapter is only 1 to 2 pages, and it fits perfectly with this channel, Lead Your Living. So grab this one. As of the day that I'm recording this, I checked on Amazon, and it is listed there for $18.99. The only thing I don't like about this book is the title. Who Will Cry When You Die? A title, it just sounds morbid. It sounds, I don't know, self-serving. I don't know. There's something about the title that I don't like, which is, I'm just, again, so thankful that I stumbled over, bought it, and opened it and read it anyway. But I actually even wrote a note to Robin Sharma, the author, several years ago saying, you know what, you should change the title of the book because I think people are missing out. I think people might not pick it up on the shelf if they see the title, not recognizing the huge treasure that it is and the tremendous amount of wisdom that is packed inside this little book. I never heard from him, so I don't think he changed the title. And I don't think he really needs my advice. He is a best selling author. He has multiple books. I have most of his books, but that would be my only criticism of this book. But he actually explains why he chose that title, knowing that it may be a bit controversial. So, okay, book number 2. It is titled Limitless, the Expanded Edition. Upgrade your brain, learn anything faster, and unblock your exceptional life. Well, hello, who doesn't want that? This is fabulous. It's by Jim Kwik. I don't know if you've heard of Jim Kwik. He is described as a brain expert or a brain coach. Check out his YouTube channel or his website. It is a book about learning how to learn. This book is like a secret owner's manual for the brain. It is based on science and it has a little bit of sciencey stuff in it, but don't let that stop you because he keeps it very easy to follow. And the thing I love most about it is some very practical tips. And he says in the beginning, this isn't just the theory. This isn't just you read it and put it down. He actually gives instructions about how to get the most out of the book. He gives little prompting questions all through it and little exercises for you to do. This is an owner's manual for our brains. And let me tell you, there were so many times I was reading this and I'd be saying, what? Really? Oh my gosh. Like it was just There's a huge amount of helpful information in here. I'm actually only 3/4 of the way through this book because I am reading it slow and I'm actually following his instructions on the best way to get the information and the learnings out of this. I'm going very slow and I'm sometimes going back and repeating the sections before I advance through the entire book. Even though I'm only 3/4 of the way through, I would recommend this with enthusiasm. Tons of enthusiasm. In addition to practical tips, exercises, acronyms for to help us remember things, he includes some startling statistics, such as this one. Research suggests that humans forget approximately 50% of what they learn within an hour, and an average of 70% within 24 hours. Even though that statistic is a little frightening, the great part is that's how he opens the chapter or how he opens the topic area, but then goes on to give some very practical strategies, suggestions, and tactics for, okay, so we know that that's common that we forget most of the information we learned. So what do we do about it? How do we make that better? And then it goes from there. Who is it for? I think it's for teachers, professionals, coaches, athletes, executives, leaders, managers, supervisors, really anyone who's focused on maximizing learnings and on performance. And that would be either for your own learning and own performance, or if you're in a position that you are trying to help others maximize their learning and their performance. This book is for you. This book is currently listed on Amazon for $38.99, I think. So these prices I'm giving are as of today, as of the recording of this video. They may change over time. Okay, on to the next one. Book number 3 is Breath by James Nestor. It's actually called Breath, The New Science of a Lost Art. Oh boy. For me, this book was a bit of a reluctant purchase in the beginning. I heard it referenced 3 or 4 different times in different formats and in different forms, and I thought, well, really, how interesting can a book on breathing be? I have been doing it for 56 years at that time. Kind of got it down pat, I thought. So I wasn't overly enthusiastic about starting to read it. I did purchase it reluctantly, and as I started to read it, I was just flabbergasted, really, even to the point, and again, I was a bit skeptical about some of the stuff in it, and I was a bit arrogant, I think, thinking, okay, look, I have my little science degree. I've been in the health system for many, many years. I've been fairly active all my life and running and doing lots of activity. I haven't focused too much on this whole issue and I'm just fine. I don't want to get carried away and say that it changed my life, but it has had an enormous impact on my health. So much so that many of the other videos on my YouTube channel, some of the earliest videos, are about breathing and how I was trying to incorporate this new breathing strategy into my running. But this book is not about running, and it's not even really about physical activity and exercise. It is about everyday breathing. And if you are someone, well, if you're someone who breathes, you should read this. But in particular, if you're someone who struggles with asthma, who struggles with snoring and sleep apnea, if you are someone who is an athlete or likes to optimize your athletic performance as much as possible, if you are someone who struggles with anxiety, there is information in here for you. I had no idea. I've always heard people talk about the power of the breath, but I had no idea just simply breathing in and out through our nose, changing how fast or slow you do that, and changing a few other things can have such a huge impact on our lives. On the book jacket, it says, "There is nothing more essential to our health and well-being than breathing. Take air in, let it out. Repeat 25,000 times every single day." Yet, as a species, humans have lost the ability to breathe correctly with grave consequences. And it outlines some of the consequences in it. It's easy to read. It's fun, it's humorous. It's entertaining at times. I can't remember if I said how much it costs. As of today on Amazon, it is listed at $39. He's not an actual scientist or a researcher. He's a journalist. And so I think at first, and perhaps that was why I wasn't overly enthusiastic. I thought, oh, well, is it based on science? I get on my little high horse about that. But you know what? I think that's a perfect background to do something like this because he investigated it thoroughly and he provides all of the information. He uses himself as part of an experiment, which has some frightening and also comical outcomes to it. So check it out. And what this book also did is it led me to another book. And this is the fourth and final book that I said, if you make it to the end, so hooray for you for getting this far in the video. And if you're still here, please give me a like, add a comment what your favorite book is, or if you've read any of these books and have a different opinion or a similar opinion, love to hear that in the comments. Okay, so this book, the Oxygen Advantage, the simple, scientifically proven breathing technique that will revolutionize your health and fitness. So, this book, I discovered this after I read the book Breath. And I can't remember whether he referenced it in there or maybe I heard them on a podcast together. I can't remember what the connection was, but it then led me to this book, which is fabulous. Now, this particular book is about wellness and about fitness in particular. Now, keep in mind that my channel is about lead your living, your wellness, your work, your leisure. This is definitely about your wellness, but also about your work and leisure because it talks about some breathing strategies that can help us in any setting. If you're a competitive athlete, this would be a fabulous book. Or if you're somebody who coaches competitive athletes, you should definitely read this book. So this one as of today on Amazon is $25.08. This book for me started me on quite a journey that in 2023, and we are now at the end of 2024, and I am still on that journey and still practicing everything I learned in this book, in particular with my running. So this book gets into a little bit more of the science, or not a little bit more. This gets into a lot more of the science and some of the very detailed information about athleticism or competitive athletics and your breathing and how to optimize performance through your breathing strategies. It gives lots of different breathing exercises for training, for actual competition, and for every day. And if you are someone who is curious about your breathing or curious about your athletic performance and improving that, this is a book for you. That's it. Those are the 4 books that I would suggest either as a gift to yourself or a gift for someone else who you know is really trying to reach their full potential, whether that's in their wellness, their work, or their leisure. And remember, I'm listing or down below the links are to Amazon. Check out your local bookstores as well. And if it's for yourself and you're not really sure, check out your local library. If you go to your library and they don't have it, chances are you can request it and they will get it in for you. So you don't have to actually spend any money for your wellness journey. The libraries are such a rich resource for communities.